said you were very confident that this is it for the regime. You said the planets were aligned. But as we saw, which has happened over and over again, that they come out, there's the government allows it for a minute, and then they crack down. And they did it again incredibly swiftly and brutally, as we've all been documenting this time. I want to ask you about what you said as well. You also called on people to come out, and you told them that there would be a 50,000, I'm picking that number that you used, guard of defectors and people who would save them and protect them during their demonstrations. Of course, that didn't happen, and they were alone and they were slaughtered. So why did you say that? What was it based on? And who are the people that you say are defecting? And if not then, when? When are we going to see that?
Well, look, there are many elements within the regime structure that refused to carry out the orders of repression, and they were severely penalized. We know of some police officers that were executed by the regime for refusing to crack down. We know of the fact that the regime had to import from Afghanistan, from Iraq, from Lebanon, elements that were not even Iranian citizens to do the dirty job. That to me is a sign of desperation, knowing that they were pushed back. They panicked, they shut down the internet, and in the darkest of night they did what they did. To a point that today you have the Chancellor of Germany saying that this regime has lost complete legitimacy. So maybe finally the changing factor would be shifting from a 4-decade-long policy of appeasement of this regime towards we have to find a solution beyond this regime. Most importantly, because of the people calling that. Now, there has been defections already. We had a specific project as part of the entire movement to call for people who have to show and demonstrate their intentions to defect. Many have applied and many have reached. Many of them are members of the military and paramilitary forces. They are also members of the civil bureaucracy. Now, there's an extent to which they can do their part, but as long as the RGC and Khamenei are sitting up there using them as an instrument of repression, even if you have defectors, it's not enough to be a shield of protection. But people are continuing the struggle. They're continuing to chant slogans. You see an unprecedented solidarity of Iranians in the four corners of the world demonstrating their support for them. We've seen millions of people on the streets of Iran that are doing it. Does liberty have a price? Of course it does. Are we prepared to die for this cause? Of course we are. Our whole point is that we don't have a choice but to fight. We don't have a choice but to liberate ourselves. And the only way you can minimize the struggle in terms of time and loss of human life is not to be alone in this fight. There's too much blood between us and this regime. There's no turning back for us. So the question is the world this time going to be on the right side of history and support the Iranian people in their struggle for liberation? Or are we going to go back to business as usual and consider another movement that hasn't panned out? And I think a lot of it depends on the policy of straddling the fence and not committing to one side or the other. This is a choice to be made because the circumstances exist right now as we speak. There's an opportunity, there's a window that exists right now that could be the game changer for the whole world.
I can really hear you trying to